recording?
Yeah.
You're recording?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ow. All right. Here we are.
Come on over
Wax's
here.
podcast.
Introduce your podcast. It's not my podcast. You introduce the podcast.
I mean, I would usually introducing it. You don't actually introduce the introduction.
I'm trying to give you an introduction for the introduction.
You want want to start it over so I can introduce your introduction to my introduction?
As long as I can introduce it.
Normally,
as long as I can introduce that.
Normally, when I do my podcast, I just say it right off the top. I just come in, introduce it, say what episode it is, say who I am, stuff like that. I don't normally have somebody saying like, "So, could you do an introduction?" You know, an introduction in itself.
Hey man, I'm just trying to, provide you with a level of graciousness that you're due to your hosting podcast duties. A level of what's the word I'm looking for?
Everything that you just said might as well have been hieroglyphics writing on a wall. Everything that you just said might as well have been some type of gibberish.
The word I'm trying to think of is deference. I'm trying to provide a level of deference to you.
The only deference that you could provide to anyone is a vast deference. There's a vast difference between my vast deference. I always wanted to rhyme vast deference and Nas reference. Like, he made a Nas reference, but
okay.
you didn't have to
Has a rapper ever rhymed vast deference in a rap?
Not that I know of, but it's probably happened. If either Eminem, MF Doom, or Watsky, one of them have probably used that.
One of those, yeah.
Just to clear something up, let's talk. Let me actually make the introduction. It is Wax's podcast, episode 54, special edition. It's a special edition of the podcast. We're down here in San Diego. Been down here a few times, multiple podcasts. I think podcast episode 10 or 11, I was down here.
Yeah.
A very recent podcast.
There was a recent podcast we did together.
But what makes this episode special is this is the last episode of Wax's podcast before the release of the Herbal T album, Lo-Fi Blow Dry, which I'm holding a hard copy of here.
I might have to drop in the intro for like 10 seconds.
All right, drop it right here.
After you say Lo-Fi Blow Dry.
Come on!
Fidelity.
Blow dry.
We are going to show you how to blow dry.
Lo-fi.
Blow dry.
And I also added the lo-fi effect.
Come on!
Fidelity.
Blow dry.
So that was a little piece of the intro to Herbal T's album, the first track. By the way, if you hear like little like rumblings and crumblings in the background, that's Herbal T's wife, Big Yes. She's doing some work. She's actually packing up some stuff. She's doing the work, packing up Herbal T's album and T-shirts and the stuff to send, because you can actually pre-order the album right now. I think we're doing a commercial. I like it.
You can go to. I feel like we're at like the NPR like support drive.
I like it though.
You've been listening to these podcasts 54 times. Now is your time to contribute. These are an important part of your life. When you're in your car, you download these so that you can listen to them. Now's the time to support. Just call us at 1-800-WAX's-podcast.
I wish that there was a camera here so they could see the rows of people in front of telephones answering them as we speak. This is a telethon for the Lo-Fi Blow Dry, which is the Herbal T album. I'm holding it right here. I actually really, this was really done well, Chris. I got to give it up to you.
Thank you.
The hard copy done by our boy Galen Fraser, who's done pretty much all my shit and our shit since whenever. We've known him since we were little kids.
Yeah, shout out to Galen. Thank you very much.
What can we shout out for Galen? What can we What's he got?
Galen's got
his
Instagram.
GP Fraser. GPFRAZER is Galen on Twitter at that.
Yeah, I believe his Instagram is Galen Fraser. Correct? GALENFRAZER.
I definitely follow him.
I don't know if he wants us to promote that or not.
Shit.
I don't know. Maybe he doesn't want
his kids.
Maybe he doesn't actually want people to go on there, but I guess that's too late.
I don't think he really cares too much about his social media in general. But it is, if you want to go give him some props on Instagram or Twitter, it's Galen, GALENFRAZER. He has the type of name where you can like have your name on Instagram and at Gmail and shit like
his
that.
Gmail. Well, yeah. If you want to email him, GalenFraser@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Send him everything you want.
That is his email. So he designed this shit. Looks great. Looks real sleek. It's very it's very, how should I say, like the design element of it, just like the colors in the background, it looks like it's done by somebody who does the shit for a living, which
Right.
Galen does.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It doesn't look like some asshole that you contracted out of a DeVry that went there for their first year, who really just mostly
It's
just wants
got-
to sit
yeah,
on the
yeah.
couch and eat Funyuns and smoke weed. You know what I
I
mean?
know exactly
Even
what
though
you
Galen
mean.
is probably not far off from that guy, just
They're-
more talented and has more years of experience.
Yeah, lifestyle wise, he's probably pretty similar to that guy. But yeah, so we're here. My wife, as he said, is her and I have been packing up all these orders. This is a true direct from the artist type of operation we have. If you order the Lo-Fi Blow Dry CD and or T-shirt and or Platinum package, which includes both the CD, the T-shirt, as well as a digital download, we actually pack them up and ship them ourselves. I'm including, for people who order it as a pre-order, I don't know if I probably have talked to you about this maybe, but I'm including a signed thank you note for anyone who orders it before the release date.
Wow. So like you personalize a thank you note for anybody who orders it?
Yep, I was at Target, bought some thank you notes. I'm writing a thank you note to each and every pre-order. Of
Oh,
the
you
physical.
actually have like stationery, like
Yeah.
thank you note stationery.
See over there, it just has, it's like, it's a standard. It just says thank you and some nice, like, it looks like
Like
something
a wedding,
and
yeah. Like if you got a wedding gift.
Yeah.
Right.
Basically, when you buy the Lo-Fi Blow Dry CD and or T-shirt and or Platinum package, you're basically buying me a wedding present, and I'm thanking you with a thank you.
How much for the platinum package for the CD and the T-shirt and the? Well, you get a digital download on the day.
digital
it comes out,
download comes
so you
in-
don't have to be the asshole waiting around for the mail.
Yeah, like the when I found like the place that's like the website where I'm selling it, like that was the only thing I didn't want people to order it and then have like, oh, I ordered the CD, but and then on the release date they don't get it. So if you get the CD or the Platinum package, you get on the release date, you're gonna get an email with the download code or some shit like that. And from what I understand, it actually comes out UTC time midnight, which means if you're in the US, you actually get it the day before, like whatever the fuck time that is. I think UTC is London time, like Greenwich Mean Time. I think.
That makes it Big Ben time, right?
Right. Yeah. It's actually sunk with Big Ben himself.
I mean, but that is why they say Big Ben is important, right? Because he like that time zone is like the time zone, right?
Yeah. I don't know the history on why that time zone is the time zone.
If anybody out there knows any more information about it, feel free to not email me about it because I don't really care.
I don't give one fuck about that.
But I will check it out on Wikipedia, maybe. I don't know. Maybe I won't. I don't know anything about Big Ben.
I've seen him.
I
Nice
didn't
clock.
see it. When I was in London, I did not see Big Ben. We went to London and we did the show. We were actually at a very historic venue for the Warped Tour in London. I can't remember the name of it, of course.
It was historic because of after Watsky jumped off the fucking tower or whatever.
No, that wasn't
That
the
wasn't what
reason.
made it historic?
That wasn't the
Okay.
reason. I mean, it was historic because they had mad like old photos there of like the Stones playing there and all these old like 60s and even as early as the 50s and like this old place.
Yeah.
And
Is that the most historic place you played? As far as shit like that?
the Troubadour is very historic.
Oh, that's
in Los
true.
Angeles.
That's
The Troubadour. The Troubadour is a historic venue.
Very historic.
I don't know. I'd have to think about that for a while. I didn't want to get into me playing historic venues, but
No,
I
I thought that's kind of interesting.
I did play on the hand of the clock of Big Ben as it went around and struck midnight at 2000, the year 2000.
Oh, okay. That wasn't a very big deal then.
Yeah, I mean, I had to be up there because I was fixing the Y2K virus, which
Right.
turned out to be an infection of Big Ben directly.
And now Prince was on the hour hand playing 1999 while you were on the minute hand accompanying him?
Exactly.
Okay.
As it went around, we played different songs. He played 1999, and I played
You played.
Music and Liquor. Yeah. But yeah. So yeah, that's my story about London. I didn't see any of it because it actually was, no offense to the homie Watsky, but it was mostly it was mostly because of him jumping off an enormous lighting rig that we didn't do much sightseeing.
Right.
I'll tell you, some people that were looking up at him, they did a lot of light singing. They didn't see a lot of him because all they saw was lights because he was standing on top of the lighting rig.
Mm-hmm.
But Whatever, man. I guess it's been enough time for me to
It's not too soon.
Talk a little bit of shit.
That whole shit where it's like too soon, man. It's definitely not at this point. Statute of limitations on you.
No, it's.
fucking with
I mean,
Wachowski.
yeah, but I don't know the deal with what's going on with that. But just to tell you the truth, the reason we didn't sightsee is definitely because we're like making sure the homie was okay, making sure
I understand.
we were at the hospital and what did we do that night after we left the hospital? I'm sure we drank somewhere.
Oh yeah, you must have had the whole mood of the whole thing must have been fucked up.
God, I can't remember what we did that night. But I definitely didn't like go out and party in London. I definitely did not do that. I can't remember what we did, but that was definitely not one thing that we did. I fucking can't remember what we did.
That's understandable, bro. Understandable.
I remember driving around. I remember the streets being real narrow and strange and hard to understand at some points, Plus, not to mention the whole fucking driving on the other side of the street, which fucks... For me, it fucks my head up. The main dude that was driving over there was Cootie, the drummer, and he had driven there before. And I don't think that for me it would matter if I'd driven there 10 times. Like it's still like it's like doing things left-handed, dude. It's like you just have for so long have built up a natural way of doing things, and all of a sudden when you're driving on the left side of the street, it's kind of like it's a thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
difficult.
fucked up. You crossing the street even, it's fucked up. You're like looking like see someone's coming.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that I don't know. We started talking about that because we started talking about Big Ben because we started talking about when the album comes out. That was a segue.
That's correct.
Only
album.
only professional podcasters that have been doing this for a long time, such as myself, could have made a segue like that. That's called a reverse segue. When you go back into what you're talking about previously, that's called a guess. It's the opposite of seg. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
It's called a guess.
The saying things backwards.
Guess way.
I see.
That's called a guess way right there, and we're back. We're back to talking about this.
So April 1st. That's if you'll hear this, it'll be the Tuesday. If you hear this when it comes out, it's going to be the Tuesday coming up, April 1st, 2014. Lo-Fi Blow Dry. LoFiBlowDry.com. People, go ahead and order.
So we got. I'm on a track here. Got your wife Yes on one of the tracks. Mm-hmm. That track actually has some scratches by DJ Zoe. I guess that's not really. It's not really fucked up that it doesn't say featuring DJ Zoe. I mean, that's a very small part of the thing. He did some cuts.
But if you look in the liner notes, see, I
got you.
I've made sure on the shit like if you order if you order a physical CD, I like to have the fucking liner notes. I like to look when I hear music. I don't know why this shit is never available online for albums. Like I'm always looking up liner notes to see like I want to see who played all the instruments, all the information about all the song. Like that's just for some reason I like to see all that.
So you made sure to do that on yours, and I can see that by looking at it right now. For example, on that song Descansa, which you put up a snippet of on YouTube. You can go to youtube.com/waxandherbaltea and look at the recent videos, and you can get a snippet of that song. But I see it's produced by Lack of Afro. You got you on vocals and percussion. Lack of Afro additional percussion and production. Yeska Rodriguez vocals. DJ Zoe on scratchers. Scratchers. He did the scratchers there.
And now he was the young man doing the scratchers.
Did he do the scritchels? The little scritchel scratchies? And then you got George Cooper on the keys. I don't even know who that is.
George Cooper is a fucking beast.
Oh,
man.
Coop Dog.
George Cooper. I've never met him. I think I interacted with him on a social media, either Facebook or Twitter once. But he's Lack of Afro's homie. He's a British dude, and he kills it. He played on that the solo on That's That, which you can see on if you go to our YouTube.
He's on a bunch of these tracks. He's on
that song at the end, the organ solo at the end. He played that. He played That's It. He played the Rhodes on that, and he played the Rhodes on Descansa also. And he's a beast, man.
Sounds like it. Sounds like it. So if you're a George Cooper fan, I definitely recommend picking up this album. Lack of Afro produced a bunch of this stuff on this album. You produced a bunch of stuff. The Whiskey Den produced a bunch of stuff.
It's actually, those are the three things. It's 12 tracks. 4 of them are produced by Lack of Afro. 4 of them are produced by me, and 4 of them are produced by the Whiskey Den. One of which is actually credited Whiskey Den and Wax. Because the Whiskey Den Productions is actually me and my boy Phrase Dog. So those tracks are kind of also produced by me in a sense.
Who is Galen's brother?
Yeah, Galen.
Very family operation on this.
Galen, who we were talking about, did the art. His brother his brother named government name is Chris. We always call him Frage. And me and him are Whiskey Den Productions. We go in, basically, long story short, the Whiskey Den is what we call his garage because we go in there and play music and drink whiskey. And that's what we've been calling it for a long time. And we recorded a bunch of the songs in there, a bunch of the instruments. And Wax is also, he pretty much played guitar on all of those tracks, I think.
A lot of them, yeah.
Yeah, so there's a lot of live instruments on the album. The whole thing is very organic type of vintagey fucking live instrument.
I'm
vibe.
like the third member of the Whiskey Den that's
Yeah.
not as active. You know what I mean? I'm more like the guitar player of the Whiskey Den. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
that's true. A lot of the tracks on there, like when I was thinking of who played all the instruments, like me, you, and Frage will all play. Like No Confusion, we all played multiple tracks of guitar. It's like all of us played that shit. Like some of those tracks, like No Confusion had like so many instrument tracks. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's a pretty busy one.
Mm-hmm.
What else we got here? My favorite tracks on the album are No Confusion, That's That. I really like That's It, especially that verse, the second verse, which is tight.
Should that be a
What?
segue where we can play a clip of that?
Yeah. Should you just play the second verse, though?
Oh,
Because is the second verse that great by itself, or is it really great just within the context of the entire song?
should I play the whole song on the podcast?
I don't know.
I could play the whole song on the podcast. The podcast listeners want to hear that?
Yeah, the podcast listeners want to hear it.
Fuck it. All right, let's go.
Hi, I spend my life playing records.
One for the money, two for the spirit. Used to think about it, but never stopped to fear it. Had a couple times when I came real near it, knocking at my door, but it's too quiet, I couldn't hear it. Life is a pretty woman, and I wanna Richard Garrett. It's a sushi grade tuna, I'm a sear it. It's a plane, I'm a pilot, I'm a steer it. But you never know, any given time come along, I hijack it, I commandeer it. And I'm lacking the currency, so I'm packing insurance. We heart attacking, emergency prone any minute. Patron, Henny, Guinness, drink it till it's done. Got me feeling like a million, but I'm thinking like a one. Now it's time for me to make my impression felt. So sit back, relax, and forget your seatbelt. You never been on a ride like this before. I black out as I activate the cruise control, and that's it. You wanna do some more shit? I'm sorry, but that's it. You wanna do some more shit? I'm sorry, but that's it. You wanna do some more shit? I'm sorry, but that's it. I know you wanna do some more shit. I'm sorry, but that's it. You only live once, man, Drake was right. You could find me at the bottom of a lake tonight. Suicidal terrorists could overtake your flight. Only takes a split second for the snake to bite, and it could be a black mamba. Richie Valens didn't know he already sang his last La Bamba when he won the coin toss and decided to fly, and told his bandmates sitting on the bus goodbye. And now he's singing bye-bye, Miss American Pie. I drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry, cause Buddy Holly didn't know as he headed to the sky that would be the day that he died. It was inspiration for Don McLean. I can see it now, it was a somber scene with the burnt bodies, smell so gaseous. Charred guitars that had penned so many smashes. Cold white snow and the hot gray ashes. Blood dried up on his iconic black glasses. Melted, they look like molasses. Same night in the club, he had the girls' asses shaking and gyrating, and like an earthquake it was vibrating. The girls, he was making them cry. Waiting for him was a plane for his final trip. I hope he enjoyed that shit, cause that's it. You wanna do some more shit? I'm sorry, but that's it. You wanna do some more shit? I'm sorry, but that's it. You wanna do some more shit? I'm sorry, but that's it. I know you wanna do some more shit. I'm sorry, but that's it. I'm gonna talk to y'all real quick about a hypothetical situation. Check it. My girl said that's not an end, it's a change. A time for the world's energy to rearrange. So after I died, I became food for the trees, whose seeds spread around as they move with the breeze. Some seeds grew and others became food. One got eaten by a tiny little dude. The dude was a squirrel and he lived by the house that I left in my will to my son and my spouse. A couple hours after eating the seed, the squirrel's stomach started rumbling. He needed relief, and that squirrel knew about the garden my girl grew. A quiet little spot he would come to do number two. He shouted out with a push, fertilizing the soil surrounding the blueberry bush. Wasn't long till the of blueberries, blueberry plump, to the point that my girl was picking them out by the clump and making pies with them, milkshakes with them, making muffins and jelly and pancakes with them. And in a roundabout way, when she was baking the pie, it's like a little tiny piece of me staying alive and living on through my people that are still on earth, living on infinitely, no need for rebirth, living on through the green grass growing on your lawn, living on. I wasn't really ever gone, I'm living on. I'm living on. I'm living on. I'm living on.
So that was that, and then
That was it.
That was it.
That was that.
You have a
That's it.
song called "That's It" and a song called "That's That." So that's it.
Yeah, I actually had a dude hit me up. He's like, "Hey man, I don't know what happened on your track listing, but you got that's that listed twice, man." I'm like, "Nah, bro, that's it. That's that."
You know, I have
separate
a
songs.
song called "Need" and a song called "Don't Need." Isn't that weird? It's kind of random.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's that. That's it. Both great songs. That's that. Already out on
Yeah.
YouTube. That's the first single, I'd say. Right?
Yeah, I really like that song.
Already
too.
passed 100,000 views on YouTube. So
Ah.
congratulations on that. Are you gonna do any other music videos?
Yes, I'm definitely doing. And when I say definitely, I mean, you know, but it's all planned out, you know, for me to do it. So hopefully we'll execute and everything will be tight. The song number 5, it's called "Grillin'." That song is actually
It actually looks to me like it's number 4.
nah. Does it look like number 4? No, look at the track listing.
Oh, I see. Because I'm not looking at the track listing. I'm looking at the credits, and you have the right. I got you. All right, it's number 5.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
It's number 5. That song I made. That's an Herbal T production. That is actually the whole production was just done with percussion instruments. So like I used a djembe like an 808. So and it's got congas, it's got cuica, it's got shakers, it's got snaps, it's got all this percussion, and that's all I did to make the beat. And the song is called "Grillin'." It's about grilling. So I already have sort of a concept for the video. Hopefully that'll be out this summer, sort of like for a summer grilling type of vibe. You know what I mean?
I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to that very much. I see you have the eugenic on here. Now, as far as him, was it tough to get in touch with him? Did you have to talk to his manager?
Well,
did you have to talk to his label, or how did
Yeah.
you even get in touch with that guy to even make that happen?
No, I mean his quotes are very high as far as features. So you know, I had my people talk to his people, do a little negotiation. I got it down to 120,000 for his 16-bar verse.
That's not bad.
Yeah, so it was
He
reasonable.
charged me 160, and then I gave him the 160. He did the verse, and I was gonna put it on my album Continue, and then he pulled it last minute. He was like, nah, and then he kept the money. So I was just like,
okay.
you know what, you're you.
Yeah, you know, you can't really, that kind of artist / genius. You know, you can't really ever predict what kind of behavior.
Yeah,
You know,
he actually ghost produced all of Kanye West's albums.
Oh, that's right. Okay, I see. That's why he hasn't put out his own album yet.
Well, he doesn't put his own albums out because he's too busy writing for all these other artists. I mean, he wrote most of Katy Perry's hits. He actually did Yanni's full catalog.
Oh, okay.
Rumor has it that he choreographed not only NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, Britney Spears, and all of Lou Pearlman's Orlando-based acts as far as boy bands and girl bands. Not only did he do that, he even did as a little kid. He choreographed a very good large majority of Janet Jackson and Paula Abdul's stage shows too. So he's been a busy man. He's never actually put out a song, but he's been really busy with that.
Yeah, that's understandable. You know, he typically averages, as far as output to the public, he averages about 1 word a year.
Yeah, yeah. But you know, why don't we? You definitely can't find Eugenic on like Twitter, can you?
No,
he doesn't have. He doesn't have like a Twitter and an Instagram,
No.
does he? If Eugenic had an Instagram, and I don't care, I'll make fun of him all day because I've known him for a long time. But if he had an Instagram, I wouldn't even follow him. I wouldn't follow Eugenic on Instagram. I don't want to see what he's doing.
I would, I would follow him ironically.
No, I'd follow him just to talk shit on the comments.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just playing. Eugenics our boy, man. Eugenics the shit.
If you don't-
he kills it. He kills it on this track.
If you don't know who we're talking about, I mean, he actually did a verse on. If you listen to Grizzly Season by Wax and Herbal T and listen to the track Blue Spinach,
First track.
that last verse,
Second track.
yeah, that second track, that last verse where it starts with the way I maneuver the beat, it's crazy like grandma pushing the Hoover in the street. That's Eugenic. He kills that shit. He kills
that. He was in our band.
Yeah.
Our band back in the day. That's what's cool about your album. It's a very family affair.
Hey, you know what?
All these people, Chris
Yeah.
Phrase Dog that raps on a couple of the tracks and produces the shit, and Eugenic, and me and you were all in this band many years ago. At this point.
Eugenic was a sax player on our band, and I'm not even mentioning that on that track he played tenor sax.
Oh,
And he also plays
okay.
He also plays sax on 2 other tracks on the album. 3 of the tracks on the album, no, 4 have horns as well. So I got a dude playing trombone, and I got my boy Dave playing both tenor and alto. I believe he plays tenor and alto on the album. So the song that he raps on, he actually plays a little bit of tenor sax as well. And then he
Yeah, it looks like it. I'm looking at the list. It looks like he plays tenor on 4 songs, and then you got some other people playing horns. I know Phrase plays like keys, guitar. You got the homie Jason Lewis. Jason Lewis, a good friend who actually went on tour with me as our merch guy on the Dreamin' tour.
Yeah, shout out to Jason. Shout out
So
to him.
if anybody was on that tour and met, how would you describe Jason? A really nice guy, black dude, big dude. Not big as in fat, just big as in like if he wanted to, he could beat your ass, but he wouldn't want to because he's a nice guy. But you know, he can get mad. He'll get mad.
He'll get mad.
I don't think he likes being called a nice guy. I don't think he likes. I don't know that he's
Like, what are you saying? I'm soft, man?
Yeah, exactly. I don't think he's necessarily fond of his teddy bear image. You know what I mean?
Possibly.
But that being said,
If
if he doesn't want that image, he shouldn't sing smooth R&B grooves like he does on this album.
Yeah. About Jason Lewis, he used to be a semi-professional bodybuilder and be like one of those dudes that you see on those magazines with the fucking crazy-ass glossy fucking veins and shit. And, yeah, he's sang in several, like, soul bands as well.
Big partier, too. Likes
Yeah.
to get shit-faced. Likes to get
Most
shit-faced.
importantly.
Nah, man, he likes to hang out in Venice. Like, I had a couple crazy times with him at that place, the Whaler. The Whaler is like a stupid bar. Like, it's one of those bars where, like, on the Saturday or Sunday in Venice, like, it's right on the water, and like it's like sloppiness, like girls falling down and people puking and slamming shots of tequila, like that kind of bar, like college bar,
Right.
But like more like not college bar, more like 25 is the average age there. Like out of college, just started working, now got some money. You know what I'm saying?
Move to Venice and try to party at the beach and get fucked up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I've been there several times.
Yeah.
Not really my type of place to go, but if Jason Lewis is in town and he's down there, I'll go down there and drink. Even though I don't drink. But,
Day 47? Say 8? 6?
no. Today's... What day is it?
Tuesday, the 25th.
I lost track, dude. I honestly lost track.
That's what's up, bro.
I lost track, but it's 40-something. February 10th was the first day. So I'm going for 100 days. Snooze fest, you know. Snooze alert. It's terrible. You know, that's all you got to know. It's terrible. So you listed yourself as the executive producer on here, huh?
Well, executive producer, from what I understand, means that you funded the album and controlled the fucking direction of it.
Man, executive producer, that generally it means whoever put up the money, you know, but it can mean a lot of different things, and it's a credit in the music industry, like in like the world of major labels and managers and shit. It's just like everybody fights to get that credit. You know what I mean? Like whether you're a manager or whether you're an A&R guy, everybody's fighting to get executive producer or co-executive producer credit. But in this case, you're clearly the executive producer.
Yeah, in this case for sure.
I should have we should have like more like a collective name or something like that. Maybe not. It doesn't matter.
I ain't trying to have you all over my shit, man.
No, I'm just saying we should have a crew. We should have other people too.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying.
I guess Whiskey Den.
Whiskey
Yeah.
Den Productions.
We should do an album where we just do all Whiskey Den stuff. I'd like to do that anyway. I'd like to like just come down here for a while and just work on just party music in the
Dude,
in the den.
I'm down.
But I gotta get back on my drinking to do that.
Mm-hmm.
What else we got?
What else we got in there? I mean, I got, like you said, Descansa. My wife, my beautiful, wonderful wife, sings the hook. It's lovely. She actually, the song "That's It," which we played. If you listen to that on the hook, her voice is in there too. She's just like doubling me on the part that says. What the fuck does that go? That's it.
I'm sorry, but that's
I'm sorry, but that's it. You can hear a female voice. That's her as well.
I was wondering why it sounded so super lame. Let me see if I had anything to talk about here. I didn't. Some weeks I'll have things listed. I'll have like a little notepad where I have things listed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really have that this week. I had this. I had extra from last week. This was last week that I didn't actually get to. I just had ass bruises listed, and that was
Jesus Christ.
That was because last weekend. Like not this past time. The weekend before last weekend, I had this bike. I bought a bike when I first moved to Venice. I never ride it, and the tires were flat. I went out and pumped up the tires, and both days, Saturday and Sunday, I went for an enormous, gigantic, very, very, very. No, that's an inside joke, but it's not really a joke. Whatever. I went for a long bike ride both days. And Monday morning, like, you know how like the shape of it's like the shape of an apple or pear, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the large end being like where your butt cheeks are,
and the small end being where your balls sit.
Yeah, balls sit / taint meat kind of rests. Yeah. So like on Monday, like I just like the inside of not like my asshole, but like right outside of my asshole and on the outskirts of my taint were like bruised and felt really weird. So I guess since I haven't ridden a bike in so long, I have to get used to that, or I rode too much, or I need to get more padding on the seat, or I need to wear more of padded pants. Maybe that's why those people that you see that like are like, you know, the like full-fledged cyclists that have like all like, you know, like they're trying to be aerodynamic and shit. People that fly past me when I'm riding my bike. If you notice, I think that they have some kind of padding on their pants. You know what I'm saying?
I haven't noticed, but I was gonna say it. What I always think of the bike thing, the what they used to, I guess, still call biker shorts. You know, the fucking spandex joints. I don't recall them having pads. I was thinking that seems
right.
like a.
That seems even actually.
It seems worse.
Maybe they don't have pads. What am I thinking of that has pads? They don't have little pads on the ass or something like that. Maybe people. Maybe just my fucking outer anus muscle, outer sphincter, or whatever the fuck you would call that. Just didn't have enough pad. It's kind of like when you play guitar and you build up you build up calluses on your left fingertips when you play guitar. For anybody that doesn't know, if you're a guitar player, when you first start playing guitar and you're sliding your left fingers up and down the fretboard, it starts to hurt and it gets sore and it hurt and it sometimes it even bleeds. But if you play for a while, I can tell that I haven't practiced in a while, but I'm feeling it now. And my shit's not calloused up enough.
Likewise, dude.
But it'll kind of stay for forever if you just even play once in a while.
Yeah, like if you're a bass player, if you use your fingers, like the fucking index and middle of your right hand, if you're a right-handed bass player, that shit gets way callous and like I think I'll have it forever. Like it feels like I'll never not have that shit.
So maybe I have to get more calluses on my ass.
I'm surprised you didn't have more asshole calluses.
I've had a similar thing happen to me before. I don't know if you remember. That's funny. I see what you're going for. In prison, I had that all the time. No, but I was talking about. Remember when I did that stop motion video where I was going on the ground?
Yeah. For anybody, you did tell me that.
For anybody that hasn't seen this, look up Wax Fast Lane Daily, and there's a video I did back in the day where I did this stop motion thing where you just watch it, and like I did that. That shit took forever to do, and I was just constantly like on the ground, like going whoosh, 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 like sliding my ass on the ground, basically. And it was really bad. That was way worse than the one I'm talking about. So
I'll be honest with you. I've never experienced the kind of bruising that you're talking about. I haven't ridden a bike in a really fucking long time. I wonder though if like, because riding bikes as kids, I never had any problem.
Me
like that.
neither. I think
when
not.
you're older, you may just have
Your body breaks down.
your body breaks down more so.
Your body breaks down.
I know that kind of shit is like people that are equestrian people or whatever ride horses.
Oh my
that
god, I
shit
can't
is supposed to
imagine.
be like really, really bad.
I can't even imagine bouncing up and down, hitting your like inner thigh.
It's like boom, 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 boom.
Damn,
Fuck that shit. I've never ridden a horse personally.
I've never ridden a horse either.
I'm not really. It's not something I'm really tripping about either. I don't have really a desire to ride one.
I don't either, but
It would be a good skill though.
it's gonna be a good skill, and it could. Maybe not for us, but for our grandkids, it'll probably end up being a good skill when everything goes back to.
When everything gets destroyed. Yeah.
But we'll see.
That's a survival skill, I guess. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, I mean, probably in the future, once we run out of oil and shit like that, there will be transportation that's not horses. You know what I'm saying? We'll probably have some type of solar transportation at the very
Bikes.
least.
You still
And
have
at the
bikes.
very least, we have bikes. Yeah, but we definitely aren't going to have the same kind of shit we have now. Everybody that I talk to this shit about, like, because I'm so obsessed with like the whole like, you know, the collapse of society and shit like that, because I don't see how it's possible that it wouldn't happen. Have you ever seen a graph of population over time?
No, but I can already imagine what the fuck it looks like.
If it starts
Looks like
at,
a big fucking steep launch ramp.
well, it starts if you start at like zero.
Yeah.
If you start at the year zero and do 2,000 years, it's just like a straight line, pretty much. From like it goes from like, I guess like, whatever 900 million to a billion. You know, over that time, and then when it hits 1900, it just goes like grows like a skyscraper.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's because of the industrial age and how people don't die and all that shit. You know what I mean?
There's like lots of factors, yeah.
There's tons of factors,
That-
but the world can't last with it. We're burning all the fossil fuels. This is something that's never ever happened before. I watched way too much shit about this, and I probably think about it way too often. But
I mean, it's
this is not even including economic factors.
I'm not worried about, like, people always say, like, you know, overpopulation, we gotta worry about this shit. It's not the people, it's the way that we're using our resources. You know what I mean? It's not that the planet can't sustain the amount of people we have, or even like way more people. It's the way that we're doing it is all fucked up.
I agree. If you just use what you needed, it'd be fine.
Yeah.
But that's not how it is. People got to realize that we're just a part of nature, and when something gets overpopulated in nature kind of corrects itself. You know what I mean? Right now, you know what we are? We're like, remember in the Chesapeake Bay or some shit like that when they had like the shark head fish or some
Snakehead, or whatever it was.
Yeah, and it fucked up the ecosystem for a minute because it just all of a sudden there's this new thing on the top of the food chain, and of course they're gonna just be overpopulated, and it just kind of ruins everything, you know. And after a while, if something like that were to keep going, you just wouldn't have anything to eat anymore. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what we're doing. We just eat everything, suck everything up. And I don't know why we were talking about this, but
There was some kind of.
I always end up talking about it.
All it takes is, like, you know, something can fucking just start exploding and it just kills everything. I mean, I think it was orange trees or something. There's some kind of like either pest or virus. It's like killing a bunch of citrus groves in Florida or some shit. And it's like a dude I saw there was like, yeah, this is gonna kill all of them. We're not gonna have any more oranges or something like that.
I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, I just the only point is that, like, you know, when shit starts spiraling like that, like our fucking, like, humans consuming being one of those things, just like,
You know what the
spirals
funny
out of
shit?
control, you just fucking kill everything.
You know what the funny shit that happens to me is? You know what's funny? Is how like every scientist says that global warming is occurring and it's because of human beings. But then there's this like other side of the argument that global warming is a hoax.
I love
It's
that shit.
all everybody who says it's a hoax is like people who run oil companies, or if they're scientists, if you look behind where the scientists are getting the money from, it's like a think tank that's sponsored by a fucking oil company. I think that shit's funny.
It's you don't have to, dude. It's sort of like the justice system, dude. It's like you don't have to have the argument and be correct. You just have to have enough money and influence to persuade or to twist the situation to win. You know?
I think if people really realize how much money and corporate influence affects the government, I think if people really thought about it, were educated about it, and understood it, people would be fucking outraged.
People are. I think some people.
I don't think people are. I mean true outrage, like actual outrage. Like everybody's mad at the president. You know what I'm saying? They want people to be mad at the president, so it's like the president. Oops, the president's just a scapegoat for who is really making these decisions.
The thing about what you're saying is that I think that's something that both people like mad left wing and mad right wing people could both agree on. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
People in the middle maybe not, but like it's only gotten worse because there was something. What was the shit recently where they decided, the Supreme Court, they made the decision a year or two ago or something, where it's like now corporations can give as much money as they want.
Of course they made that decision. Of course they made that decision because they're the people that make all the decisions. Mm-hmm. All the decisions that are getting made are because corporations run the people, the politicians that are making the decisions. So of course they made the decision that's for the corporate interest. And people aren't outraged about it because there's a campaign of misinformation put together by these huge corporations to tell politicians and tell the media, to tell all these people that, oh, well, it's all good because these corporations are just people just like me and you. Of course they can wield influence. There's no problem with that. No regulations. There shouldn't be any regulations. Yeah. You know, like, and it's like, dude, look at all the fucking, dude, there's so much fucking bullshit that's going on with this country. I'm telling you that America's not doing good. You know what I'm saying? I don't think people in this, because everybody's so insulated in this country and doesn't travel to other places and realize it, but like, we're not doing good. You know? I don't know. I was gonna say.
That was a good rant, Mike. That was a good rant.
I was gonna say. Oh, do you know about like the Greenland shit? How Greenland is melting, and it's like it's not even if you live in Greenland, it's not even a question of like. It's like they can see it. It's like this year this was ice. Next year this is a pasture. But what's crazy about it is that because all that ice is getting melted, oil companies are going there where the ice has recently been melted and getting all the shit there. They're like, oh great, since global warming is causing all these new areas to get more fossil fuels.
Global warming is like you could twist. Like I've seen some shit where it's like, oh, global warming is going to open up new fucking shipping routes in the north that are going to help everybody. You know, you could easily like, of course, by that time, like, you know, fucking all the major cities on the coast will be no longer exist. But
it'll be interesting to see what happens.
The thing about global warming is that we're causing it and it's fucked up, but I don't know that it's gonna human beings will survive that shit. You know what I mean? Like we survived the ice age before, and this is like you know. I mean, there's catastrophic predictions about global warming that people think it's going to cause these crazy-ass weather patterns, which it probably will, but that shit, there's always crazy-ass weather patterns. I mean, people will survive that shit.
Some people will. Some people will. There probably will be a thinning of the herd. You know what I'm saying?
Could be.
Nobody knows how to do anything. What's going to happen when Los Angeles has no real water source, and all of a sudden no food can get there? A couple of days there's no fucking food and there's all these people there. Like, what's gonna happen? You know what I mean? Like, I don't even know what to do myself. I don't know what to do. I do know that it'd be wise to have a fucking gun. I know that. You know.
No, that the fucking gun thing. It's pretty out. Like, if shit goes down, all the people with guns are like, so I thought, yeah, the people with guns fucking win.
Right.
But for me, that fucking. Just that in case or a possible scenario is not worth having a gun. That shit that could go wrong, like I'm not the type of dude that's preparing for an apocalyptic situation. I'm just fucking.
I'm not yet.
Yeah, I mean, I
don't think it'll happen so suddenly. Anyway, I think you'll be able to kind of like see some.
And it's funny I just said that, but I mean, me and Yes do have we have like this emergency water and shit like that, but that's more for like, you
No
know.
motherfuckers got a gallon or some shit, probably.
No, we got a good amount.
How much is a good amount?
We got one of those big ass cases of little bottles. You know, I don't know how many. I don't know how
You
many.
gonna survive for 2 days?
I mean, it's more for like a major power outage than a fucking, you know, alien invasion or whatever the fuck you're thinking of.
But you know what's fucked up? What could happen? What literally could happen? Because of the way our monetary system works, what could happen is we wake up one day and the dollar is worthless, and all the money you have in the bank is worthless. All the money anybody has in the bank. I mean, it might not affect people who don't have much money. You know what I'm saying? But it still will affect. It will affect you that you can't go and.
That probably will happen. If I had to like, I agree with you. I think that like massive. It's basically hyperinflation. I mean, it's happened in shit tons of other countries in the world. Why wouldn't it happen here? Especially when China decides they're going to sell all our reserves because for whatever reason, we villainize China so much. One day they're going to say like, you know what? Fuck your reserves. We're going to have them in euros now, and then it's going to fuck up it's going to fuck everything up, cause hyperinflation, and people aren't going to use the U because we're the gold standard. The dollar's the gold standard.
I understand all that shit.
You understand what I'm saying? But dude, I mean, like that shit happened in fucking so many countries before. Where I mean, like in Argentina back in the '90s. But
we've done it to people,
dude. In Zimbabwe, they had fucking the craziest inflation where motherfuckers had wheelbarrows full of cash to buy a fucking gallon of milk, shit like that.
Something about the country of Zimbabwe, like when you say something happens, that's like the go-to. Zimbabwe and Madagascar are like the go-to, like just countries that you say on some random shit like, where are we, fucking Zimbabwe? yeah, that happens in fucking Madagascar, you know. But yeah, I remember seeing those pictures of people wheelbarrowing their fucking
Zimbabwe's
monopoly currency.
Yeah, man. But that could easily happen to us.
I think it's just crazy, man. Just shit that's going on is crazy. I was watching a thing somebody posted on Facebook. Facebook is now the home of Facebook is just a bunch of viral videos that makes me waste time, you know, just waste time on shit where I should be doing productive things. Somebody was posting some shit that they were like, yeah, this guy's got it all right. And then some guy talking about how we need less regulation. It was a rich guy talking about how we need less regulation. And we can't. The last thing we should do is raise the minimum wage and shit. And it's just like, how could you possibly look at our system and think we need less regulation? You know, the lack of regulation, the reason that everything. Do you know everything we buy at Walmart, like everything, is made in China? Mm-hmm. We buy everything here, and they make everything. You know what I'm saying? And we lose this is all because once you allow corporations to be the rule. It's obvious that everything that they do is to make more money. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And they don't give a flying fuck about things like global warming and the environment. They openly don't give a fuck about that kind of shit. But they pretty much openly don't give a fuck about the workers. You know what I mean? And at this point in this country, it's not like most people, like this guy was talking about, like, how are small business owners going to hire people if they have to pay $9 an hour instead of $8 an hour? It's like, motherfuckers in this country, have you driven around? Like, they're not working for small businesses. Yeah, of course, some people are, but like, go to any town. People are working at Walmart. People are working at Subway. People are working at Target. That's all you fucking see in every town in America. These enormous companies. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't give a fucking $1 more, so the owner of Walmart doesn't have a fucking 8 gazillion foot yacht instead of a 7 gazillion foot yacht or whatever. You know, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
the point is when they make the argument about, you know, people getting to the top due to hard work. Like, I'm not denying that there is hard work there, but is it really 1,000 times more hard work? And is it really the case that most of those people didn't start on third base anyway? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you look at that shit, people have so much of an advantage in certain situations, you know? And I've seen it with people that I've met, you know, people that I've met that got head starts. Their dad gave them a business, or their dad, you know what I'm saying? I've seen shit like that. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That motherfuckers don't get. And whatever. I guess it is what it is. I don't know. I'm gonna start a fucking radio show about it that nobody's gonna listen to.
Wow.
The other thing that
I would say, Mike, that I still think you're a little bit. You watch maybe so many documentaries that are fucking so alarmist that I think you still are.
I'm very
I think
easily
your
persuaded too.
alarmism is a little over fucking. It's a little bit of an overreach. I still think it's like, you know. I think we're not in such dire straits as the way you're painting the picture. I think what you're saying is all true, but maybe 25% to a 25% degree of the way you're describing it. All the shit about corporations not giving a fuck about the environment is all true. All that shit is true. But I mean, there still are a lot of small businesses in America. There still is fucking chance for you to start it and still thrive. And I actually think that some signs on like a smaller level, like people are starting to try to. I mean, if you look at like food, like people are starting to try to shop at their local market, get their local fucking grown shit. Like all that shit is blowing up, you know. And people I think are.
In your little community in San Diego that you know, in your little community where you hang out with people that do yoga and shit like that, like that's not real. That's not real America, dude. That's
Easy
not
there,
real.
Sarah Palin.
Homie, I'm agreeing with you. This thing of people, like I know you get fresh vegetables delivered to your door from local markets. This thing of the idea of that being a thing that a lot of people do is not true.
I disagree with you. I don't know. I disagree with you based on zero research and or fact, but I can guarantee you that around the country, not just in my little enclave, that shit like that is picking up. Like farm to table restaurants, organic food, locally sourced shit. I guarantee that if you were to look at the numbers of all that kind of shit, that shit is growing rapidly. Guaranteed.
Yeah, I'm sure it's growing, just like the hybrid car is growing, but it's like a Band-Aid. You know what I'm saying? You need to get everybody to be on some other shit. You know what I mean? To really affect it. But
Yeah.
you know, I'm also like my whole thing is negativity. So like even though I see all these problems, like I never would think that I could help and solve it. I just, you know what I'm saying? My solution is get a gun. You know what I'm saying? Like that's, you know, I'm very negative in that way. You know what I mean?
Word. Well, now that
where are we at in the podcast?
now that all your podcast listeners want to kill themselves, we're at 48 minutes.
Well, we might as well. Let me be honest with the listeners for a minute. I came down here and I realized the last minute that I didn't actually like go through the emails and find questions and shout outs and shit. So I just went at the last minute. I just went through like literally a few. So I got a shout out for Charlie B the cat, and I got a shout out for Chris M. And sorry, Chris M. I will get back to you and watch that video you sent me. Like I said, I was just going through the emails last minute, and I didn't get a chance to watch it because we were like right about to record the podcast and realized we didn't have any questions and shit. So let me start. This is actually more of like a shout out / props / recommendations. This is from Dimitri, aka Big D. For some reason, Big D is funny to me. Because it's like big dick. That's why I'm saying it's funny. I don't know. Always enjoy the episodes, man. I always wanted to give you, Herbs, and E a big props to your work with Lack of Afro and his new album. I always like the more funky songs you and your brother did on Grizzly Season, like Pay Cut and Blue Spinach.
I applaud this guy already.
This is why the reason why I'm reading is because it ties into the special episode. This wasn't supposed to be an end of the world episode. I have a feeling like every episode I do from now on is gonna be an end of the world episode. I gotta stop watching those fucking documentaries. I gotta get a girlfriend and watch like romantic comedies.
Yeah,
you're sitting there by myself and
shit that paints an optimistic picture of everything.
Yeah,
with a happily ever after.
Yeah,
nothing you watch is happily ever after.
No, it's all fucking death. But they always try to do happily ever after. They always end those documentaries with, but what if we all come together? And you're like, really? That's gonna happen?
Yeah. All right, keep reading Dimitri's email, man.
I've been listening to the album all day. He's referring to the Lack of Afro album, which y'all should all go get.
Yeah, music for adverts, Lack of Afro. I'm on 2 tracks on that album. It's great fucking album.
Anyways, keep up with the podcast. Really helps with the drive and traffic during the morning. And good on you for taking another break from smoking and drinking. Hopefully you can make it to the 100 days and then some. Well, I'm almost to the 50-day point, so let's see how this goes. I think I'll make it. I know I'm going back to it. I might and when I say this, I'm not trying to be facetious or funny or anything like that. I think I'm gonna live the rest of my life on and off. I'm gonna go I'm just gonna every year I'll just do 100 days. You know what I'm saying? And then the rest of the year I'll try to be relatively moderate, but then I'll have my benders. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I might take a trip to Hawaii and just say fuck it. You know what I'm saying? I might do some Vegas type shit. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to do another hallucinogenic experience. You know what I'm saying? Do some
I know what you're saying. I'm not on the same page, but I totally know what you're saying.
Not like old school shit, like something like peyote or ayahuasca or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Again, I've been watching too many documentaries.
I know some speaking to this yoga community hippies that I associate myself with. Some of them have fucked with ayahuasca.
What did they say?
That it's pretty crazy or whatever.
I'd like to talk. I'm just interested in that shit, you know?
Yeah.
All right. Then Big D also adds, I forgot to add some recommendations. For music, I highly recommend Lack of Afro's new album, Music for Adverts, as well as Schoolboy Q's new album, Oxymoron, which I listened to. I thought was dope. Both of which had some pretty good tracks. As for film, I highly suggest Man on Wire, a documentary about a crazy high wire artist from France. And I have not seen that. I've seen it on Netflix.
Yeah.
Have you seen the fucking little Russian kids that go up and do the crazy...
Oh, where they climb up the fucking... Is that in Kuala Lumpur? That's in Shanghai or Beijing or something?
These are not Asian kids. These are Russian
No,
kids.
But the video that you're talking about was not filmed in Russia. It was filmed in... They go up the side of the top of the building on top of the antenna in the clouds and shit.
Yeah, and they're holding the shit with their little fingertips.
Yeah, dude, those guys are... that video is in China, but those dudes are Russian.
Oh, I just remember seeing all the comments those crazy Russian dudes, blah blah blah. But there's that shit. I get so scared just watching a video from the comfort of my home.
The craziest part about it to me is not as much them doing it, but how they look so comfortable and they're not even nervous. If you look at them, they're just yeah, man.
The question is when inevitably one of them falls, do they show that?
I don't know. I mean, sometimes, yeah, you do shit like that, you're
inevitably somebody's gonna fall.
Someone's gonna fucking...
it's not a question of has somebody died bungee jumping. Has somebody died... what do they call that shit? Where they throw the parachute after base jumping. You know, it's not a question of has somebody died.
Those dudes in the
how
fucking...
many?
Those dudes in the flight suits.
Yeah, tons of those. Those dudes are the worst. Tons of those dudes die.
I don't understand the fucking... I don't understand why people do that kind of shit, but...
You would not... Dude, did you see the one... Oh my god, dude. This is stupid to talk about on the podcast, but I just gotta tell you anyway while I'm thinking about it. They show this really, really wide shot, right? Of this super old, church kind of building. It's super old. And it's super tall. And on the top, it's got this huge, skinny, not an antenna, but on the top of churches they'll have a huge skinny thing with a statue of Jesus on the top. Yeah. It's enormous skinny thing, and on the top there's a star, and then it just cuts to this motherfucker on the star, and it's crazy. I wouldn't know how to lead somebody to the video, but I guarantee people listening have seen this fucking video
they're standing on there,
on the star.
But dude, okay, no one. I thought you were gonna say someone was base jumping and got impaled on this star or something.
No, you have to see it. You have to see it.
I'll check it out.
So thanks, Big D.
Dude, yeah. Well, to follow up on what Dimitri's saying, if you're of the same sort of musical taste as him, then you should definitely get Lo-Fi Blow Dry because it's all that kind of shit, funk, it's like Grizzly Season, Lack of Afro combined. It's kind of like a combination of those two things in a way.
Yeah, it's like some boogaloo funk hip hop.
Yeah, it's all got a certain vibe to it. It's not it definitely doesn't sound like modern rap that you're gonna hear. It's not gonna sound like a Schoolboy Q. I'm not saying I don't like that kind of shit because I do like that kind of shit, but it's not gonna sound like YG or Schoolboy Q or something like that. It's gonna be more like Lack of Afro. I mean,
yeah, it sounds. I mean, a lot of it actually is Lack of Afro, and it sounds old school, but it sounds fresh. You know. This one is from Joseph B, and this is the only other question we have for today, which is probably a good time to wrap it up. Mm-hmm. This one says, "What's up, Wax? It's been a while since I wrote an email for the podcast, but I wanted to ask a question to which you may be able to relate. I have said before that I am a songwriter, and the type of music I make is different. I'll leave a link below, and I did listen to the music. I am also a black kid, and at an all-white school, and most of the people with whom I'm able to share my music go to my school. At first, a lot of people listened because they were interested in hearing what type of music I made, but after they realized I wasn't making, quote, that gangsta rap shit, unquote, and the novelty wore off, I stopped getting as many people listening. I can rap and I love rap music, but it's not what I want to do. Imagine that. I imagine that, as a white rapper, you have dealt with people ignoring what you do because it doesn't fit their perception of you. What do you think I can do to get people to take my music seriously? Well, first of all, let's forget what I have or whatever, because nowadays I can't throw a stick without hitting a white rapper. You know what I'm saying? That being said, like, I'm a normal ass looking dude, and if I tell somebody I'm a rapper, they look at me weird. You know?
Oh, dude,
They definitely, especially in Los Angeles, if I tell somebody I'm a rapper, a musician, or whatever, people assume that you're a struggling ass rapper or struggling ass musician or like trying to be. And that's what everybody always tells me, like, you still trying to be a rapper? I'm like, dude, I'm not trying to do. I am being a rapper. You know what I'm saying? But. But I listen to Joseph's music, and I just assume that he wants me to give out his Bandcamp. It's ATE. It's 8. I don't know how you would. I'm just gonna spell it ATEHABAILLY.bandcamp.com. He's got an EP. There's like 6 songs on there, and it's definitely it's some other shit. It's like some ambient, like acoustic. Honestly, way better than I thought it was gonna be. Shit, it's, you know, most people that send me stuff is not usually good, and this shit was awesome. And I can understand why people at his school would be like, "Whoa, this is maybe, you know, it's original and unique, and it's probably something they haven't heard before." It's funny that he goes to an all-white school and he's the only black kid, and they're probably looking at him like, "Oh, he can rap like the other blacks that we see on the television." You know what I'm saying? But
Now, you guys like the rap, correct?
so did your mother teach you that, or who taught? Did somebody teach you how to rap?
I'm assuming you have a cousin or an uncle that perhaps makes beats and you rap on them. Okay.
So this is what I have to say about the situation. Who cares in this day and age if the person at people at your school listen to it? I'd much in this globalized world of the internet and the World Wide Web, in which we're all twined. You know, don't worry about what the kids at your school think. I mean, it seems to me like your music. If he's talking about high school, like his music is kind of like on some like pretty relatively advanced. It's
Yeah.
For a high school mind, they don't necessarily. They might not be ready for that shit, you know what I'm saying? So I'd say get beyond the thought of like, oh, my kids at my high school need to like my music, you know?
Yeah, you can keep it like you don't have to, unless you want to actually play music with people, which is kind of like if you can find someone that's sort of on the same page musically.
Yeah, and in that case, you only need to find one or two. You don't need the whole.
Don't
need the whole school to like it.
That would be good, but these days, like you can kind of put it out there and like try to talk to people on the internet and like find people who have similar musical tastes, shit like that. I mean,
yeah. And if they want to perceive you, if they think it's weird because in their mind they perceive you, especially since they're white and you're black, if they perceive you as being weird that you make not rap music, then shit, just change people's minds. You know what I'm saying? I'd use that as an advantage, or like an advantage. You know, it's good to be different. It's good to be unique. It's good. It's very good in music to do shit that people don't. You know, like it's like I always say, like people. Something comes out, whether it's Schoolboy Q or Drake is a great example, or back in the day, a band like Nirvana. Mm-hmm. Like you don't want to be the band that sounds like Nirvana. Those dudes might have a hit and be forgotten or whatever. Like you want to be Nirvana. You know what I'm saying? Now, like when Drake got popular, like all these dudes started coming out that sound like Drake.
Yeah.
But like Drake is Drake. You know, you want to be that guy. You want to be the guy that everybody else wants to sound like and bases their sound on. Like some people come out and they just have their own shit. So the last thing you want to do is adjust to make people that are more normal understand it. You know. And besides, if you make a shitload of, just fucking do what you love, man. That's the whole point of it, dude. That's the whole point.
Coming from an original perspective and doing original shit that is from your mind that's different than everybody else is way more important than like fucking just. You know, you just gotta be true to what you want to do. You know, original fucking thought.
Yeah. I agree. And with that being said, April 1st, which is next Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, a week from right now when we're recording it. We're recording this on a Tuesday night. Go to, what's the best way to do it? Lo-Fi Blow?
You can go to lofiblowdry.com and pre-order. That's still going to be up. You're going to be able to order all the physical products like from now till whenever I decide that you're not going to be able to. But April 1st, you'll be able to get it on iTunes, all the other fucking, I mean, whatever else what do people like? I mean, it'll be on Spotify, it'll be on Amazon, it'll be on whatever other outlets there are, you know, a long list of them. I don't even know which ones, like whatever you use in the fuck did it, Rhapsody? Fucking, is that something? I don't know.
Yeah.
iTunes. You know, it'll be on iTunes April 1st. Buy it there. That would be tight, actually, if some of you were to buy it there and I could get a little bit of, you know, on some charts for a day or two. That would be tight. Yeah, lofiblowdry.com. I appreciate everybody who's listening who has already ordered. I really fucking appreciate it. The sales have been good. You know, like doing the shit myself, how we're actually like going through and doing all the fulfillment of the orders. Like just going through and seeing, like, it makes the shit real. Like real people, these like actually live at this address. They actually went on and fucking paid money to buy stuff that I'm physically sending them. It's like, it makes it, it's not just some like theoretical person that's out there commenting online, you know, like makes it like it's like a real person. It's crazy, man.
No,
like,
I know what you mean. It's like when if you sell your shit on iTunes, you don't get that. You get like 300 people bought your shit.
Yeah.
They're just one of the 300. This is like,
I'm like, this person who lives in fucking North Dakota is literally gonna have my shit sent to their house because they like it and they decided that they liked it enough that they're gonna pay for it. Like,
you ever start thinking, like, whenever I would send stuff out to people, I always think, like, especially when I saw, like, somebody that's from, like, say, from, like, Saskatoon, and then they live in an apartment, and I'd be like, damn, it'd be like to live in an apartment in Saskatoon, that sort of thing. If I lived in Saskatoon, I'd probably try to have a house, you know what I'm saying? Like, maybe not I just think, I don't know, I always see the tip.
I won't lie to you, I've Google mapped some of them. I've Google mapped them before.
I always think about what it'd be like to live in places. Any weird ones? Any weird international ones?
There's definitely a lot of internationals. Most of the internationals are Australia,
English
UK, English speaking, and also like countries like where everyone speaks English as a second language, like Norway, Sweden,
Scandinavian joints.
Scandinavian countries, Germany, Austria. I got a couple. Nothing like that was like, you know, a couple like Western Australia. Nothing I can think of that was like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck, like some random ass stuff. I mean, most of them were all over the U.S. Like lots of variety as far as like U.S. states. You know, there's lots of support from Michigan and Ohio. A lot of people from up in that area. A lot of people in California. All over the U.S., man. Canada, big time. Big lot of love in Canada.
People love rap music in Canada, dude. People love to support hip hop in Canada.
It's too bad that you can't go to Canada, dude. Really, really too bad.
I mean, I think it's. I'm not gonna say it officially, but I think for all the podcast listeners out there that might be in the Toronto or Montreal area, I'm pretty sure that I'm not. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be making it to those stops of the Warped Tour. I'll probably be holed up in a hotel in fucking Buffalo or somewhere.
Are you thinking about literally trying to sneak in?
No, it's not worth it, man. I'm not getting in trouble to do 2 Warped Tour dates, dude. I'm not getting fucking going to jail for that dumb shit. Sorry, but I'm not doing that.
That's what would happen if you got caught there. You would
go
to jail.
I'm not gonna risk it. I'm not doing some international crime shit.
Yeah. You don't really love the fans.
Yeah, I mean.
So what you're saying is you got no love for the fans.
I mean, I went out. I mean, the whole shit is based on me doing a show. You know, the whole me not being able to go over there.
With that said, man, everybody, please, Lo-Fi Blow Dry. That's the shit that's coming out. I appreciate it. Like I said, man, everyone who's supporting it so far, I appreciate it. If I hope you like it. Let me know if you once you hear it, hit me up. Let me know what you think. If you have any I'll take the good and the bad. If you like it, if you don't like it, let me know. I mean, I'm curious. I'm curious to see what people think about it. To be honest with you, even if.
So what do you want? What do you want them to do? Hit you over Twitter or what?
I don't know, man. Yeah, just hit me on Twitter or Facebook and give let me know what you. Even like specific shit, I'm just curious. Like maybe if there's a certain song you like, a certain line you liked. Let me know, man. Let me know what you think. I'm real curious. I love it. So like that's all I can do, man.
All right, you heard it here first. April 1st. Heard it here April 1st. All right, my name is Wax. This is Herbal T. Signing off. Be safe out there.